It was Motzei Shabbat, Saturday night, November 4th, 1995. I had just finished packing my bag for another week of service at my army base and was starting to make my way to the city square. We stood together, a group of close friends, and around us were tens of thousands of Israelis who had gathered for a support rally for Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin. We were moved by his genuine speech about the peace process and about the painful prices that come with it. But we saved our applause mostly for his clear words against violence and incitement, and for the right, the need, and the obligation to safeguard Israeli democracy. We parted ways, my friends and I, with great excitement, after having sung Shir LaShalom, a song for peace, and Atikva, not knowing that in a mere hour we will be gathered again, this time at my parents' living room, staring at the television screen in complete shock, fear, and great sorrow. Since then, every year, I fast on Rabin Memorial Day. I fast not so to remind myself of that terrible night, which will never escape my memory. Rather, I fast in order to remind myself of the soul-searching and reality check commended upon Israeli society since that night. The Book of Kings and Book of Jeremiah teach us that the end of the first Jewish sovereignty over the land of Israel did not take place upon the destruction of the first temple. Rather, it took place when Gedaliah ben Achikam, the leader of the people who remained in the land following the exile to Babylon, was murdered by a fellow Jew. In this way, our sacred tradition tried to teach us that the strength of a nation is measured not only by its ability to defeat its enemy, but also, and perhaps mostly, in its ability to maintain its character and values, in its ability to set red lines, and its ability to prevent extremists and fanatics to set the tone. 20 years ago, Israeli society failed to embrace this lesson. It must not fail this way ever again. Over the past few years, a public debate has been taking place in Israel over the legacy of the deceased Prime Minister. This conversation is not simple, especially in light of the recent wave of terror and the continuing crisis in the negotiation with the Palestinians. For me, and for my friends in the Israel Reform Movement, Yitzhak Rabin's legacy includes our personal commitment to protect the State of Israel and to stand firm against those seeking to harm it, and at the same time not to give up on the quest for peace, even if it seems far away and difficult to reach. For us, Rabin's legacy is a stubborn insistence for a shared Jewish and Arab Israeli society and full acceptance of the need to minimize gaps and prevent discrimination. Rabin's legacy is the acknowledgement of the need to invest more in education and nurture the Israeli welfare system. It is the obligation of each and every Israeli to devote him and herself to the betterment of society. At the same time, we are holding our leaders fully accountable to their words and deeds. More than anything, Rabin's legacy is the commitment to the clear message which Rabin himself spoke of in his final speech, not knowing that this is the will he is about to leave behind. האלימות היא כרסום יסודות הדמוקרטיה. Violence is the erosion of the tenets of democracy. יש להוקיע אותה, יש לגנות אותה. It must be condemned. זו אינה דרכה של מדינת ישראל. It is not the way of מדינת ישראל. יזכור אלוהים ויזכור עם ישראל את ראש ממשלת ישראל, רב-אלוף יצחק בן רוזה ונחמיה רבין. יהי זכרו ברוך ונצור בליבנו, ומעשה על רצח לקח לדורות. May the memory of Prime Minister Rabin be a source of personal and collective commitment to safeguard our state of Israel, to strengthen its democratic values, and to hold on to the hope for peace in the land of Avraham and the land of his two sons, Yitzhak and Ishmael, and let us say, Amen.
I am always challenged when people tell me it was this one crazed man named Yitzhak Rabin who murdered the prime minister. It was one individual named Yitzhak Rabin who pulled the trigger. But let's remember that the months and even the several years before that unbelievably devastating Motzei Shabbat in Tel Aviv when he was gunned down was the demonization, the vilifying of this man.
I was in the demonstration. I was watching our Prime Minister sing Shir LaShalom. I saw him sing. On the bus home, I heard he was shot. When I arrived in Jerusalem, I heard he was killed. I wept with my oldest son when I told him that.
If I were to ask what was his most important attribute, I would say integrity. He called it like he saw it. And sometimes it wasn't what other people thought.
We were all in shock, my whole synagogue here in West Hollywood, because we had just been in the municipality building. We had just stood on those very steps in which Yitzhak Rabin was so brutally assassinated.
I immediately thought of John F. Kennedy's assassination as well, and where I was at that moment, and how it changed the course of America, and I realized that the course of Jewish history now has changed as well.
I, at the time, was the president of my Nifty region, Nifty Car, in Chicago, and the moment that we learned of the assassination, we were filled with two kinds of pain. One, the obvious pain of the assassination and the murder of Yitzhak Rabin, and the second was when we learned very quickly afterwards that it was a Jew who killed him.
One day, there will be peace between the Israelis and Palestinians because there is no other option. It will be more or less along the framework of Rabin's vision for peace, as articulated by the Prime Minister and the President of the United States, Bill Clinton. And at that day, people will look back and look at Prime Minister Rabin as the key figure that unlocked the gates of peace and allowed for peace to reign in the Middle East.
What I take away from his life, with Rabin as my hero, as my model of life and living, that whatever we do, whatever is needed of us, whether it's our families or our synagogues or our Jewish community or Israel or the world at large, that we give 100% of ourselves and to understand that shared consciousness.
Yitzhak Rabin's legacy has shown me that even today, peace is possible.
תנו לשמש לעלות, לבוקר להאיר. הזקה שבתפילות אותנו לא תחזיר. מי אשר קבע נרו ובעפר נטמן, בחימר לא יאירו, לא יחזירו לכאן. איש אותנו לא ישיב, מבור תחתית תעלל, כאן לא יועילו לו שירי הניצחון ולא שירי חלל. על כן רק שירו שיר לשלום, אל תלחשו תפילה, מוטב תשירו שיר לשלום בצעקה גדולה. שירו שיר לשלום, אל תלחשו תפילה, מוטב תשירו שיר לשלום בצעקה גדולה. שירו שיר לשלום, אל תלחשו תפילה, מוטב תשירו שיר לשלום בצעקה גדולה.